Hello, everyone. Welcome back on Lava AI Twitch channel, and welcome back actually on our AI hacking world. And I am Lisa. Today I'm going to be your MC for the evening, but just a little bit. And big and great welcome for you all, guys. Actually, a big amount of people here with us today on OpenAI Slack and Hack Hackathon. It is actually super exciting for me to be here as an MC and actually for all of us, LabLabA team and our partners, because as you probably saw already, we have around 7,000 people today with us, which are ready to build, which are ready to create, and which are ready to change this world for better with AI. So, my name is Lisa, and I am a social media manager at New Native, which is father company of LabLabAI. Uh, yeah, if you can push the slide. And now I will briefly take you through our schedule for today and actually for the upcoming days which we have. So now we'll start with guide on our platform, on Discord, and actually introduction from LabLabAI side. We will take you through the challenge, through products which we are going to use, through all the technologies, and evaluation criteria. Also, we will talk about prices because we just announced them, and I think you're going to be super excited to build because prizes, they're really good. So next up will be our partner for this hackathon, and not only Redis, and we will have Tyler and Taymor with us today. Then we will go through two startup lessons, especially when it comes to actually applied NLP AI. And this session is going to be hosted by Sam. Then we will meet Redis a bit more and actually will learn how to work with that. After that, we'll have session about app for product research using ChatGPT with one of our LabLabAI developers. So the whole week will be full with actually streams and sessions by LabLabAI side and not only. And some of more sessions are going to be announced soon. Maxim, can you turn another slide? Thanks. So we will go to the session, the go-to-market strategy, basic of pricing, funding, and valuation for AI startups. And of course, we will have GPT-3 live coding session. And this is going to be a super crazy, exciting, and productive week for all of us. And of course, more sessions are going to be announced. So make sure you follow all our social media channels and stay active on Discord to be sure you are updated with everything. And now I'm going to pass my word to founders of New Native and LabLabAI, Matthias and Pavel, and they are going to go through LabLabAI vision and mission a bit deeper, a bit more. So, Pavel and Matthias, welcome on the stage. Super happy to see you here today. How are you doing?
For doing such a great intro. Welcome, everybody. Glad to have you. Super exciting. We're here with a few thousand people joining us, and we strongly believe that you're going to have a great experience with us. You're going to build some great products, great services.
Yeah, we are super excited to see everyone that are joining us this weekend. Truth is, me and Pavel was in such a rush to make it to this broadcast, so we just landed 20 minutes ago with our flight. We didn't even have time to take our luggage, so hopefully we'll go back and retrieve it after this.
Yes. So just to introduce briefly about our mission and vision, we strongly believe that there's a lot of innovation needed in the world and that there's big problems to solve. And technology is the ultimate enabler. Artificial intelligence is one of the best and most powerful technologies that can do good for the world. And we hope that together with you, we can accelerate the innovation, which is needed so much. Yeah, I mean, AI has been a buzzword for many years, but now we see really the most powerful use examples coming into play, right, Matthias?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, AI have been around since the Ice Age, more or less, and we kept the same term. So, yeah, many people could be negative to AI or just heard AI for many years. But what we see now is truly amazing, and really this new side of AI when we look at transformers, for example, and that whole segment of the technology that really start to enable people to build and create amazing things that previously not really was possible, or it would require like 9 months, five AI PhDs, and yeah, a very big budget that can now be done in 48 hours. All right, I guess we should talk a little bit about New Native and LabLab.
That's right. So, guys, welcome to the lablab.ai OpenAI Stack Hack. You'll be using a lot of very cool technologies. Our main goal at LabLab is to stimulate at a grassroots level modern state-of-the-art AI technologies and infrastructure needed to create beautiful and awesome products and services.
Yeah, and to talk a little about LabLab. So basically, we created this community where our purpose was to basically identify technologies that we think will have a fundamental impact and become key, say, building blocks in applications built today and tomorrow. And yeah, the purpose is basically just to identify these technologies, get access to them one way or another, and lift it out and try to create the best possible environment where we can see people from all over the world come together and build. When we started this out at the very beginning, yeah, most people was, like I mentioned a little while ago, most was PhDs in AI, and it was quite complicated. But what have been enabled today with this technology really allow a much broader audience to attend these events.
That's right. So right now there's over 33,000 of us AI builders in the LabLab community, the LabLab movement. And what we would like you to do today, what we invite you to do, is to do an act of creation. So you are pulling something out of nothing. You are creating a poem, you're writing a book, writing a song, but it's actually software. And these tools are so powerful that they completely rewrite the way we build and operate software in the future. It's great to have you. We can move to the next slide. So just to give you a brief context about New Native, because LabLab is our grassroots initiative that we want to bring technology to you and build great experiences together with you. New Native, our main company, is focused around identifying crucial technologies, incubating, accelerating them, and investing in them. So as part of this initiative, we're very happy to invite the top teams, the top builders from the events into an extended program where we give you additional resources. We help you build your products further. We don't take any equity in the initial programs, so we're extremely founder friendly, and we really want you to build the best and the most powerful products. And we'll talk about in a minute because we're bringing some super exciting tech on the stage in a few seconds.
Yeah. Like Pavel said, we are all about AI innovation and really to kind of empower and encourage a new generation of builders and makers to build a new generation of companies that solves big problem. We really care about solving problems. We trying to stay away from politics and all other things people seem to be deeply engaged with and care about a bigger purpose. So yeah, we can't wait to see what you build. And what we really encourage people is just like, come back and build with us. Build week after week after week after week. At some point, you will hit your head on the nail, and yeah, magic
Great.
happens.
So, moving forward. Okay, so what's really awesome is that you can share with the whole community. Once you submit your app, it will be featured on the app discovery page on LabLab, and you can get more people excited about this by inviting people to support us on Product Hunt, share the love, share the hugs, and it's awesome if you can give us a little bit of your support. So now we would like to
maybe we can present. So
yes,
for this week, we are actually introducing something totally new and a totally additional concept, so to say. So just as all the previous weeks, we have the main challenge, which is today build something that contains one of the technical products in the OpenAI tech stack. So that is a requirement that it actually include one of those. But what is new is that we're introducing something called side quests. And this is additional technologies that if you manage to include this in your build, you're also part of a second competition. So our first partner we have taken in on this is Redis. We believe it's a really suitable first partner because their technology really are a great complement to these technologies and allow extended capabilities. But anyway, how this will work is during the next 2 months, everyone that builds something in any of our events and choose to include Redis will be part of a separate competition. So we will, at the end of these 2 months, we will have a separate final. We will, together with Redis, pick up the top 5 projects that will also go to stage and pitch it. So
we would like to bring to the stage our great new partners from Redis. Great.
Can you see us?
Hi. Yes. So
okay, great.
Tyler, Timur, it's great to have you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We would love for you to say a few words and then take us through as much of Redis technology stack as you have time for. So without further ado, we'd like to once again introduce Redis as a partner with LabLab, and we hope that you build extremely powerful and extremely production-ready solutions together with us. Just to mention a few words, Redis mentors will be available on the LabLab Discord. There's going to be constant support. There's awesome prizes included, right? And you get access to the Redis database solutions as well during these events and all of the events in the next few months. So this is like extremely powerful. And obviously all of this is for free forever as long as you're building with us. And that's awesome.
Yeah, guys, please tell us a little why is Redis awesome complement in this space, and why should people consider to use it?
Yeah, no, thank you so much. So first off, I really want to extend a huge thank you to Pawal, Mateus, Lisa, and Max, for partnering together with us on this, amazing opportunity. I'm at Redis, Tyler's with me as well too, and we have a small team here that really believe in the power of Redis in powering AI applications. And so first off, I do want to thank them. Secondly, I want to welcome you all. I think it's a great opportunity for LabLab to be able to do this for the community, right? Because we're at the emerging trend of AI with generative AI apps, large language models, and to facilitate a platform like this where we can really unleash innovation, huge kudos for them for thinking about it and for including us in the journey as well too. I'll just say a couple of words and then I'll pass it on to Tyler, who can talk a little bit more about the technology. But, we're the company behind the open source Redis database, as well as the commercial offering that we offer on the cloud and on premise. And Redis has, had a very simple philosophy from the beginning, creating an amazing technology that, has simplicity, data versatility, but then above all, speed. And on those principles, we really want to bring the technology to make it a joyful experience for all developers as they build amazing applications. Several months ago, we added capabilities into the database that essentially make it a vector database. And so now you can actually store vector embeddings inside of Redis, and then using our similarity search capabilities, create some amazing applications. And so while I won't talk about the technology, I'll turn it over to Tyler, who can go deeper into that. So over to you, Tyler.
Sure thing. And thanks to Timur for the introduction. Thanks, Paul, Matthias, and Lisa for everything. Echo a lot of the sentiments. We're excited to be here, and we really believe in the mission of New Native and of LabLab AI. And we really also believe that Redis has a part to play in this next wave. And so what you see on the screen here are a lot of capabilities that many of you developers out there have probably used or may have heard of before. As you're familiar, most likely Redis is a key value store, a remote key value store, and it's most commonly used for caching. That's kind of where our traditional heritage is from. It's lightweight, it's fast, and it allows for really quick data access. But what you may not know, and maybe some of you do, is that over the last 10 years, there's been a lot of innovation. There's been a lot of focus on the developer journey. There's been a lot of focus on the customer. And in this case, what the engineer needs in order to build lightning fast real-time applications are a lot of the things you see here. So different modules that enable and extend the Redis API. Maybe that's search, or it's storing JSON natively in the database, even a graph database now. There are all these different opportunities to use Redis in unique ways. And then on the other side of it, there are all these different data structures. So it's not just strings, right? You can store things like lists, vectors, sets, hashes, you name it. There's a bunch there. And of course, we can be deployed on different clouds. And there's a bunch of enterprise capabilities at our core that make us ready to support sort of the workloads that you might expect in today's ecosystem. So if you want to hop to the next slide, I can kind of talk a little bit about where we see Redis in the ML ecosystem the most. And so the two primary places where we right now as a company are pouring a ton of effort into is Redis as a machine learning feature store and Redis as a vector database. And so both of these might be useful capabilities for sort of the next series of challenges here with LabLab. And I'm going to spend most of my time here talking about Redis as a vector database. But to briefly cover on both of them, a feature store is this place where machine learning features, AI features, the inputs that go into the model are cached and stored so that they can be quickly retrieved, single digit latency, for example, from an application at runtime. And so that way your model is not suffering from latency required to maybe get the features from something like a SQL server or some cloud blob storage. And so Redis is really commonly used as the online feature store in these kinds of architectures. We'll be available in the Discords and things like that to be able to discuss this more, but I kind of wanted to just present that part of it as well. Now to get to sort of the main component here, which is Redis as a vector database. And so as you can see here, you can take, with the sort of boom of these different generative models and transformer models and language models that are out there, all forms of unstructured data like audio, text, video, images can be transformed into numeric representations that we call embeddings or vectors. And those can be stored in Redis. And so now you have the real-time capability of Redis for both storage and retrieval, as well as a new capability around search, where you can actually look for nearest neighbors. You can find similar entities to the thing that you put as your input. And so now this is all enabled as part of Redis Stack. And so if you go to the next slide, I'm going to show you how this might look with two really simple architectures. And these are both available, and we'll share these afterwards so you can see them. But semantic search is kind of the first thing. And so semantic search is this idea that you can search based on meaning and context, not necessarily on specific keywords or specific fields. And so this is important because, for this hackathon that we're doing today, but also for maybe upcoming events, there are going to be these different model providers like OpenAI or even Cohere or Hugging Face. It can all provide the capability to take a piece of text, in this case, and convert it to text embeddings. And then you can store that in Redis. And then you can actually build an application on top of that, whether it's something simple like a Streamlit app, or maybe it's a fully fledged React application. The opportunities there are endless. But what it provides is the ability to search with natural language and to discover and retrieve the documents that are most relevant to the thing that you search for. So that's kind of the first place. And I'll then stop there and move to the next one, which is question and answering. And so that's on the next slide. And so for this application, it takes the basis of semantic search and adds another layer on top of it, which is generation. And so if you can follow this diagram here, users can ask a question, whether it's in a UI or even potentially with audio. OpenAI or some other provider can create embeddings from that, store those documents in Redis with the embedding, and then find the most relevant sort of results to that question. And this will then construct a prompt that you can pass to OpenAI in order to answer the question. And so this is one example workflow. And I wanted to give both of these sort of as just a high level understanding of where Redis fits into this stack, right? This is just focusing on the vector database side. Sort of at the beginning of this, you would have seen all the different capabilities that are there just for like real-time data access. So if you have really small and simple data models, you can also store those in Redis too. It doesn't even have to be AI related. It could just be there to speed up your application in sort of basic ways as well. So that's kind of a quick dive right into the capabilities that we're hoping that you all will be able to explore and pair together with some of these new technologies that are really exciting in the AI space. And if you go to the next slide, I want to make sure that you guys have our names and our faces somewhat memorized because we're going to be available to you all here on Discord. And so you see Timur and I both here, but we also have Sam Parti, who's our principal applied AI engineer, and he's going to be an excellent resource for everyone. He's so sharp and has a lot of experience running this stuff in production. So the three of us will be on Discord. There's a channel that's already been created for Redis specifically. Come ask us your questions, and we're excited to work together.
Thank you.
Awesome. Are we back, Max?
I guess over to you, Lisa.
Great.
We're going to pass it back to you guys.
Yes.
Great.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, back to you guys.
For explaining something more. And all I can say to everyone is that, yes, you can really get like that really extended capabilities if you look into what you actually can do with Redis. So basically where you get the limitations in today's transformers, that's where Redis come into the picture, because it is a limitation in the amount of data, and so the current transformers can handle. While implementing some of the Redis solutions, there is basically no limitations. We are not talking about you can index 1,000 documents. We are talking about millions of documents. So it really opens up a new horizon of possibilities.
Yes, and we're very excited about what you will build with Redis and with other technologies during this event, during the next few months. We really want to see people creating exciting new ways to utilize and to introduce solutions to problems that you care about. So regardless whether you're very proficient or you have specific subject matter knowledge, you should definitely join one of the teams. If you haven't already, find for great people that you can build with together. And there's a whole array of things that we will now take you through and explain everything. So thank you once again to the Redis team, and we'll see more details later on and for the whole week.
Utilize now that you have Tyler on the Discord, that is probably one of the top experts on Redis in the world, I can imagine. So take that opportunity to ask the hard questions and get some advice how you potentially can use Redis to achieve certain functionalities.
Great. So let's continue with the slides. Great. So let's start with a short introduction to the platform and the Discord guide. Yeah, is it? Are the slides visible? Yeah. So, and then Lisa, welcome to jump in any time that we don't say something that's super relevant, but
we have no idea when we should talk or not talk. So if we are talking when you are supposed, Lisa, just let us know, and we are quiet for a minute.
But just to bring you guys in, right? So first of all, this is you can build solo or you can build as a team, right? So both options are welcome.
Team preferable.
Team is preferable because this is you can build much more capable things.
Yeah, sometimes we have some solo riders that are determined to huddle along alone in their caves, and that's okay also, but really take the chance to meet other people. We understand it could be a little bit scary to just jump into a voice video chat with a bunch of unknown people, but really give it a chance. You all are here to build, and we see people making connections and friends for life. We even see people coming together and create companies. We have multiple stories when people met on these events, and right now they are building some really exciting businesses on AI.
Yeah,
all right.
And they're building together with us. So
back to the guide.
Exactly. So create a team or join a team on lablab.ai platform, meet your team on Discord, and then very important, and this is where we want to take a minute to kind of take you through this, guys. So come up with 2 or 3 concepts together of what you're going to build. And
yeah, so I just want to reverse back a little. So on the platform, you have the team functionality where you either can create or join a team. And 2 important things here. So it's really important that you actually fill out your profile, little information about yourself and what is your background and talent. I believe there even is a function so you can tag yourself within, say, 5 different categories. So are you a technical person, like a developer or a AI expert, or maybe you are you have another type of domain knowledge. Maybe you're a designer, or you are simply a business person, or you are somebody who came up with a really good idea. So make sure to fill out those profiles and tell a little about yourself. And also those that create teams, you have the possibility to also tag what type of people you are looking for, and that way that way we can match teams looking for certain type of people with people with those skill sets and backgrounds. Everyone are welcome, and we really want everyone to find a suitable team. If you end up in a situation you don't find a team, you go to our Discord, you ask mentors, hey, I can't find a team, and they will make sure to figure out where you can find a team.
There's even a special channel for that. So on Discord, so you can find that. And so once you, as Matthias said, once you find the right team members and you can, jump into teams, jump out of teams, find the right people. There's literally thousands of people to play with and to find the right people.
Yeah, and here we have something. I guess we are gonna talk a bit about the functionalities on. Okay, now we are back again on the previous one.
We can go next one. We'll go to next.
Which one should we go for?
Yeah.
Okay, let's stay on this one a little then. Okay, now we are back. Okay, so let's stay. Okay, let's go back to the previous one and then we jump here again.
Okay, so very quickly.
But here, now we are here.
Yes.
Yes. So the hackathon guide, as we said, once you're signed up for the event, you have a button that takes you to a dashboard or something like that. Click on that one. It should be at the bottom of the screen. And there you will be able to use our matchmaking system to find your team, and that's when it becomes important, fill in profile and everything around that. you can see if somebody are looking for members. You can actually click in there, and there is a little chat there, so you can chat a bit with them to introduce yourself and hopefully match up with each other and get enrolled in the team. Once you have a full team, basically the team leader can click a button and you will get your own channels like magically set up on Discord, and you will be all bundled in a team. So you get a team tag and get access to these channels. It's only your team that have access, and also mentors. For this to work, it's super important that everyone in the team actually connect their Discord, and there should be a big shiny button on the team creation page or around there that you click to actually sync your profile with Discord. If anyone have problem getting your channels and so set up, go to Discord, tell us about it, and we will sort it out.
So probably we need to move slightly faster because people coming.
Yeah, so anyway, once you are a team, the first process is actually to come up with a couple of concepts. What we really recommend is that you try to come up with 2 to 3 different concepts. And here it's important to let everyone in the team speak and provide their idea. And then try to go through them and see, like, is it technical viable? Is this like realistic to build? So, for example, maybe we want to make a system that helps us take a picture on our fridge, see what ingredients that are missing, come up with a bunch of recepts, and actually a grocery list. We click a button and that will be bought. Okay, that's technical possible. And maybe another idea is like, let's loop out an array of fruits just. Yeah, that's also technical viable. But next step is to think like, does this have a business value? Because this is also criteria we are judging after. It's like the technical viability.
Yes.
Yeah.
The business idea.
Business idea.
And the presentation itself, so the quality of that, and then obviously how prepared or how finished, how production ready the actual prototype that you submit is.
Yes. Anyway, you come up with the concepts. I think we have created a totally new guide today where you have a lot of good advices, actually, how you sort out all these things, everything from creating team to come up with idea to decide on an idea. Once you have three concepts, more or less good, what we really prefer you to do is come and ask for a mentor to jump in, because this person can really help you a little bit to choose which idea to go after. So if you're a bit unsure, like, is this technically really possible to get this done during the time, or does it have a business value? Ask for a mentor. I will myself try to be as available as possible during this weekend to help teams out with other mentors, and we might see Pavel there also, and
Simon,
and hopefully Simon, and hopefully we can get Simon a bit on the stream also, Max. I don't know how if it's technical possible.
We probably need to kind of move through the slides as well. Yeah. So just to take you through what you need to do, and short summary right now, and then we'll move to the guests that we have lined up. So fill out your profile, go to lablab.ai, create your profile, sign up to the event. Yes. And please make sure to give your information in full, and your profile will be listed with your team on the submission page. Also, having the full profile allows you to receive a certificate at the end of the event. Yeah. So as Matthias was saying, this is the representation of how you can create a new team. Obviously, if you want to join the team, that's also possible. You will see the team list in the dashboard. You can see which competencies and skills are missing. So there's a big tag there on the team, and you can see who are they looking for, or you can create a team and say, who are you looking for? And that's perfect. You'll get a nice graphic and a nice team description put together soon after together. Great. So this is how you, as I mentioned, go and create or join a team. You see exactly whether people are missing certain skills, what are the descriptions. You can find the team that is looking for members. So it's actually extremely...
And I believe that I asked to have this change, but it seemed to still be this short word, LFM.
No, it's on the website, it's changed.
Okay, so on the website...
slide needs update, but on the website it says that we're looking for specific skills.
Yes, and I think also the team can tag what type of additional people they think they could need.
That's exactly it. You will see that. Just go to the dashboard, to the teams. You see what skills teams are looking for exactly, and it's very well visible and explained. Let's move on to next. As Matthias said, magically, but not really, you'll get your channels created on Discord for your teams. And it's really, you have a team communication channel to get started on LabLab. That's great. But Discord is ultimately, you can create video chats, share files, share whatever you need on Discord. And it is a very, very fast process for you to do that. So make sure to get connected. So connect your Discord in LabLab. There's a big button there, and you can use that communication medium. You see that on the graphic here.
Yes, and if there are any troubles around it, let us know. This today will be a big test for our Discord system when we have so many people joining us. I think we are even using a setup of 3 or 4 different Discord servers to be able to host all the teams, because we did unfortunately or fortunately outgrow our Discord channel that we had.
So when you join Discord, you will be able to communicate with a great team of LabLab mentors and support. So there's a few important elements that are super key to mention. So you can very easily find, the startup elements, right? Meaning how to get started, how to act, what technologies to look out for, what are the components of the technologies, the business that is there as well, if you're looking for that. And if you need help, you can basically ask for help very easily. There's a knowledge base of memes, right, which is super important. You can add your own memes. That's the biggest knowledge base, I think, on Discord, but really not. The biggest one is of all of the tutorials. So all of the tutorials that you have, that's the biggest knowledge base. And there's a few for fun ones. So there's charades, there's image transformers, and as I said, a full tutorial set both on LabLab and on Discord, how to get started. If you're new to AI, if you're a super experienced person, you will find some super high quality content that will enable you to move to the next level as well. Great.
Yes. So what happens if members are inactive? Yeah. Unfortunately, that is how it is. If it's not your friend or somebody you know, and you physically can force them to become active, the best option is basically to find another team and help them on their project. And even if your team falls apart, say day 2, day 3, there are probably teams that are looking for additional people that are building something exciting. Optionally, if you have awesome idea and you want to continue on it, yeah, go solo. But really, it's all about meeting other people here, learning from each other, building together. It goes a lot faster to solve a problem if you are 5 people hitting your head against a wall than if you are alone.
Yep. So now
there is a forum thread to help you. I guess it is on our Discord.
That's right. So maybe it's also good to talk about the technologies that you'll be building with. So hopefully, Matthias, you can say a few words here from your perspective. What do you think? How do you see specific use cases and just a little bit of background? Keep it brief because we have other people coming on.
Yeah, so OpenAI have a really interesting stack of technologies. We have throughout the last year, 2 year, built quite some around it. As of today, you have a whole bunch with interesting, say, components to utilize there. Of course, you have the original GPT-3 that are available. I don't know if Codex, I don't think Codex are publicly available at the moment. Some people might have that access. You have the embeddings. You have so much things. Check the documentation. And for those that doesn't have account, just go to you can go to beta.openai.com. I think they changed the URL, but you will get redirected. Read through the documentation there to understand how you can use, for example, embeddings and other functionalities that allow for more things. You also have some exciting open source projects from them. For example, Whisper, that is a quite good voice to text system. So if you want to do anything that should allow voice commands, look into that.
Great. So just to give you a brief about what the challenge is. So during this hackathon, we expect you to use either technologies effectively from OpenAI. So you can use Whisper, GPT-3, Codex, DALL-E 2, and the goal is obviously to create as innovative solutions as you can imagine, and ideally, if those solutions can solve a really big problem in a positive way. So it really doesn't matter how you want to use AI, as long as it is innovative. You can improve communications, streamline workflows, you can build entirely new applications, and this is your chance to shine, right? This is your moment, and whatever you create and submit will be featured. It will be available to thousands and tens of thousands of people to review and interact with, and it's your chance to really explore and show your potential. So just to give a brief overview and list the technologies, this obviously will be available for you. So on lablab.ai, if you go to the AI technology pages, you will be able to see details about each of these components. So we've prepared for you tutorials, templates, boilerplates, all the necessary information for you to get started on all of the technologies that Matthias mentioned. So Whisper, DALL-E 2, Codex, GPT-3, and Whisper is obviously one of the models that allows you to take speech to text. DALL-E 2 is an image transformer that allows you to generate images based on prompt engineering. GPT-3, which probably everybody knows, is the original large language model that allows you for all of
I don't know if everyone knows it, but basically it's really good at text, so both spitting out text, but also understanding the not the content, but
semantic.
The meaning of certain materials, also good at classification. It's like a Swiss knife. It can do a little bit of everything. It's like a multi-tool. So explore it, look what others have done, and so on, to come up with a great idea. And optimally, you combine GPT-3, you add Whisper, and you add Redis, and you build something very, very unique. I think there is a really open and field for innovation now, especially as we have the Redis component in, because it really enables things that is not possible using only these tools.
That's right. Vector databases introduce a completely new layer of power and usability to large language models across all of their use cases. So this is a completely unique opportunity to combine all of these technologies with full support, full mentorship, and a path to create great products moving forward. Yes, great.
No, continue.
There's also a variety of platforms that we recommend. You can obviously use whatever you prefer, but there's extensive information and documentation on Streamlit and Replit. So they're great deployment beds where you can easily showcase your demo application. So if you create something and you want it to be accessible, this is the ideal scenario. As we said, the judging criteria is all about innovation, the models that you use, the underlying technologies that you use, and also the way that you showcase your application, your product, your service. The layer of interaction with the user is super important if you want to actually create something that people will use and create a good product.
And does it have a real world value? That's really like you can make a lot of fun things, but is there something people will use, and either it solves important problems, or people are prepared to basically pay for it? Yeah,
that's right. So summary of the evaluation criteria, so just to be clear for everybody, is degree of completion, is the presentation style. So we also hope that you can talk about what you've built, or select a person on your team, because there's usually one best person that talks in a great way. The business value, the applicability, what Matthias was mentioning, right? Is there an actual use case? The degree of innovation, originality. Remember that there's hundreds and thousands of apps being built right now, and hundreds of them on lablab.ai. So if you have an original concept, there's an additional bonus there. But if you do something that somebody else did really, really well, for example, with Redis, that's also great, because you are now more powerful than that previous use case.
I would say, like, if you want to do something somebody really already did, then you need to figure out a way how to make that radically better than the previous version. So please don't just copy code and change a few things. But there could be that somebody have made a similar application, but you figure out a way to do it drastically better. And that's what the general advice when it comes to startups and so also. If you have competitors on the market, you only have two big advantages, and that's basically either you're the first one doing it, so you have a first mover advantage, or you figure out a way to do it a lot better than the current solutions. If none of those two applies, there is a big risk it's not a great startup idea, and you will just be one out of many and in the middle of the segment somewhere.
Exactly. So as Matthias said, the realistic capability and the technology that's used, so how effectively capable is the app or the service that you've built, the impact, how unique, how many people can it reach, how's the actual market opportunity, and the overall impression all come into factor, right? So just to move on the next one. So this is super excited. This wasn't announced before. So everybody, the 7,000 people that want to join us this week, you had no idea. So we are super happy to tell you that you didn't come for the prizes, but you're getting them. Yeah.
Yes, we are sponsoring from the New Native and LabLab side today.
Yeah.
With the current prize pool.
That's right. Yeah. So for the third place, we've lined up $1,000 in cash plus LabLab swag. For the second place, $3,000 in cash, a $5,000 credit package across multiple tools, and LabLab swag. And for the first place, this is the cherry on the icing on the top of the cake. It's $5,000 in cash, $10,000 in credit packages, early and LabLab swag, and most important, a spot in Slingshot, the early stage incubation and acceleration program at New Native, right?
So basically somebody that goes ahead and managed to win today, so this hackathon challenge, plus include Redis, actually have a chance of I think collecting around $10,000, a whole bunch of credits to use both through us and through Redis, and yeah, you have a clothing for a few days also, because swag from us, swag from Redis, so you can
And that's for
switch it up.
And that's for the whole team, by the way, right? So
Yeah.
you guys, so anybody that wants to start a startup, I don't think there's a better way right now to do it, because not only do you get the cash, you get all of the resources, the mentorship, access to an acceleration program, and you get clothes on top of that. So no washing for you for a few days. Yeah, so super excited about the prizes. And I think a good component which Matthias mentioned a little bit, and we want to just dive into very quickly, is the winning team formula, right? So try to bring people with technical and non-technical backgrounds, ideally, right? So try to mix it up. A doctor or a lawyer or an architect can actually bring a wealth of expertise and solve real big problems in their industry in an extremely positive way. So please be open to working with non-technical founders and people.
It's often those, like, because I'm quite a computer geek nerd myself, and reality is like you bundle together 5 hardcore technical people in a room and you say innovate. Not always coming up. I mean, a lot of great ideas comes up, but what is really valuable is to get that person in that are doing something completely different, because they often sit on that domain knowledge. They are doing some process every day, maybe in their job, in the school, or anything else, and they are like, okay, maybe we can put technology to solve this problem. So we really like what we see. Best team composition is if we say we have a team of 5 people, we have 2 technical people, we have 2 people coming from other fields like business, sales,
Design.
HR, whatever, and 1 person maybe coming from say design or marketing, something like that.
Yes. So as we said, choose a communication channel that's convenient for all participants. We are recommending Discord. You might choose WhatsApp. You might choose Slack. You might choose any other forum that you want. There's
I think if it had not been removed, there is a possibility to add your own communication channel also. But what is important then is that you add a link to this one. So if you are on, say, Google Meet or anything else, add a link to this source and make sure that mentors are able to join it, else it will be hard for us to help you guys out. And you actually have, I don't know if that is coming in the presentation here, maybe it is, but if you have problem, like you actually have a button on your dashboard, click that button, because a little lamp will light up on the back end, so then a mentor can easily join and help you out.
Yep.
And also a winning thing, I would say, is like you need to put in like the hours you need to work, because technology is not easy. It's like often it is doesn't work or it work. So you might need to spend 37 hours to get it to work. And the magic then is that once you figure out how it works, so next time this will be easy. But it's very hard the first time, and it takes a lot of time. Coding is not easy. It's like a different world every time, and you just need to do it. And at some point you see something work and you can change something around there.
Yep. So very important is also to find the time for each member that is convenient for them, and use some sort of work scheduling. Set a deadline for yourself, right? Set some realistic deliverables. In the hackathon guide, you actually have specific methodologies how to manage your time, how to manage creation of ideas, how to manage the delivery of that. So at the end of that, we will ask you to,
No, at the end of this, Max, let's pull Simon in so he can say hi, and before we leave this over to Lisa to continue.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. So at the end of the event, at the end of the timeline, it will be your time to shine. You will be asked to prepare a short presentation, around 5 minutes. Ideally, it's an outstanding presentation, and the core needs to include what have you built, the demo of the prototype working, recorded. Yeah, so we know that live demos are not the best idea always, but a recorded one please make it happen. And describe the process of what you built. How did you build the prototype? And a business plan is optional. Not everybody has the time, but it's good to have, so it shows your full deliverables. Great. So moving forward, you will be asked to upload that presentation. The upload happens through the lab page. So your team has a process there, and you will be asked to upload the presentation directly onto the platform, and your presentation should not be longer than 5 minutes.
And there should be material that shows you exactly how to do this, but use like Loom or something like that to make your life really easy.
Great.
So, yeah, bring Simon in with us.
I am here, yes.
Great.
Thanks for waiting.
Finally, my time to shine.
Yeah. So, Simon, tell a little about yourself also, and some wise and motivating words for our participants.
Yeah, sure. So I am one of the three co-founders here at Native and LabLab, and I'm an engineer, right? So I like to challenge the way you build things and think about it in terms of systems and how you can build sustainable systems and how you can make them even better moving forward. And I think that's a mindset you should keep in mind when you go out to build these applications. There's so many things out there that you could pull together into something that would, at surface level, seem like something everybody could do. But it really comes down to the grit and the perseverance for yourselves to actually make something that people want to use, and something that's helpful. So when it comes to building, I think that it's very important. It's prerogative to make sure that you want to use it, right? It's certainly been the case for me when I've built stuff in the past. So when you go out now for these couple of days where we do this hackathon, try to challenge the norms a little bit. Try to think about this in terms of improving a system, and try to think about the end users, because those are the ones that usually win in the end, the ones that actually makes a difference. So with that, I mean, we're here to help you figure that out. We're here to help you take the next step on your journey and make something that is truly 10x, as opposed to the things that are out there already. And if there's anything we can do to help you achieve that, then just reach out and we'll make sure you get the opportunity to actually do that. I think that, I mean, this entire community is all about challenging what's possible. And as of now, it's really about creativity. So try to leverage it as much as possible and build something cool. Build something that dazzles me. That's what I want to see.
Now we leave the stage over to Lisa again, and she will take you through the rest of this presentation. Go ahead, Lisa.
Yeah, thank you so much for such a introduction actually to Love AI world, I would say, because it's right now a real world with so many people in. And right now we are going to have a session by Sinisa Milosevic. I hope I pronounced your name right. And we are going to have a startup lesson. And we will talk more about, especially when it comes to actually applied NLP AI. Hello, Sinisa. Are you with us?
Hello, yeah, I'm with you. It's pronounced Sinisha. I mean, you're close enough, like SH. So yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, can you turn your camera? I hope we can see you right now. Right?
I'm here.
Yes.
I'm the Red Power Ranger, my Discord avatar. Didn't manage to change it for the event, but oh well. So
amazing.
So it's an absolute pleasure to be here with you tonight to talk a little bit about actually applying natural language processing AI in startups. I mean, this presentation is titled Startup Lessons on Applying Natural Language Processing AI, but I would rather title it like as mistakes I made, so you don't have to. I hope you can see the presentation in being live. So a little bit about myself. I'm a serial entrepreneur, but I started several startups, two of them being mainly focused on natural language processing and AI. The first, especially like building digital humans, and the other one being focused mainly on document automation, and you can see the natural language processing. And basically what we were trying to build is kind of like we were trying to build something like the computer from Star Trek, or Samantha from the movie Her, which both are our imaginings of the future. And
Computer.
here we see a little video of.
Hello, computer.
Just use the keyboard.
So we often romanticize about the future and then kind of realize it. Like we have this tendency to imagine how the future has looked like, and so that's how we imagined that future computers being, and basically it's picking up slack because we see conversational AI and NLP system being more and more present in our daily lives, like being cultivated and worked on day in, day out. And like the important question is kind of for the non-technical people is like, why now? Why now we see all this ChatGPT release, and then everyone's kind of in a flurry to develop natural language processing applications using like OpenAI API and other open source models like GPT-6b or Cohere. And basically it's kind of, I argue, is the computing power on one side and the ability to have that much compute and the availability of a lot of data. And also, like when we think of sort of AI and intelligence, it's sort of the, we think of the fundamental sociological and anthropological, meaning of intelligence we had with us. It's our human ability to transfer knowledge and information to our peers. And when you look at a Turing test, which is on this slide, it's basically the test of the machine's ability to exhibit intelligence and behavior equivalent to that of a human. And you can see it involves basically language. So that's what makes natural language processing so special. And it's important to understand we're experiencing this revolution today and what it entails. Like on this slide, you can see basically the Google definition of natural language processing, which is basically is the application of computational techniques to the analysis and synthesis of natural language and speech. And when we take this, and what it means is basically computers don't understand text, they don't understand words, they don't understand strings at all. And what we as sort of people who are in the space of natural language processing need to do is sort of translate that into something that computers can understand. And that's basically the L in natural language processing, is just translating that human language on one side to the language that computers can understand. And so when let's get down to practice basically. So the lessons I learned from a lot of experience working in this space is basically, why use AI? That's the first one. It's like, first and foremost, we must acknowledge the immense value OpenAI, Cohere, and other AI models bring to the table. And as we ponder like new ideas and products that we are wanting to make and incorporate AI, but we must remember to ask ourselves a really, really, really crucial and important question: is could this product be built with a simple if statement? And if the answer is yes, then utilizing an AI model would be waste of precious resources, especially if you're a startup and you're kind of fit for cash, fit for human resources, for whatever resource you are. Wasting resources into trying to incorporate AI into something that you can just hard code, that's a little bit more complex if statement, is a killer. And but sort of what my advice is to all to the participants of the hackathon is basically, when you're thinking of an idea that you want to create, is ask yourself this: if can it be solved with a simple if loop? And the other lesson, is to be specific. Basically, develop using NLP models, using like GPT and whatever. Recently, actually came out that that ChatGPT achieved sort of the mind theory that it was on the level of a 9-year-old. So that comes down to actually also this slide is be specific with your prompt. Be specific with what you want to do, what you want the AI to do. Be specific with what kind of output you expect. I mean, AI is in by itself like this box that can make inference from noisy data. That's sort of the main reason why you need AI and natural language processing, because the previous sort of models were based on a rule-based approach where you have to identify the nouns, verbs, and adjectives, and if this word comes before this word, that means that like a noun references, etc., etc. And what basically AI allowed us is to infer from a bunch of data that you don't have to know about what it is. And basically, if you say like, I spent a lot of Zorp last night, is like what Zorp is. Like you can like our human intelligence infers it's some kind of a currency and something you can spend on, and that's actually what AI allows us, because with AI models you can they can infer also that it's something you can spend, some currency or whatever similar. And so it's important to remember that you have to be specific with what kind of outputs you're expecting, even though it's sort of noisy on the input side and it's kind of noisy on the output side. But still, I mean, all the colleagues that are working in QA can remember, like, think of the happy route, the everything works perfectly and what the desired output is, and try to build on that. And another slide, another lesson I would kind of, we've spent a lot of money and resources learning, is feature creep. It's important to figure out that adding excessive features to a product that make it too complicated and difficult to use, to the point where basically you are someone that's kind of developing these features, especially if you're a startup or a hackathon. This is sort of a slide I took from one of our original business plans, where we were thinking of adding features and especially applying a freemium business model. And basically, as a startup and someone who lists these features, but then you have to develop these features, you think it's like cool, and you're being all this innovative by adding like a bunch of stuff into it, or a bunch of features. Like, for example, a feature like a search bar can be really, really difficult to add. And basically, you must make sure that it's something that actually brings value to the customer, it brings value to the model, and it's sort of technically feasible. Because, like, if you're spending a lot of time, a lot of resources on developing features no one asked for, like we did, like we originally started thinking, because you say your business viability, especially if you're in AI space. I see a lot of startups pushing for this freemium business model where they charge for additional features, and then you're trying to push in more features, trying to make it more and more and more sort of justify for the customers to actually buy that subscription, to justify that subscription worth, but while you're just adding unnecessary burden on yourself. And basically, the lesson here is important: is if you're a business and if you're going for natural language processing, you must you must use AI, be specific with what it needs to do, and don't add features except just try to make an MVP from whatever it is you want, without any features, without anything, but basically just a specific use case that you're thinking of. And another sort of lesson is sort of why you need to be specific with this is like on this slide is where you see an Apple product and Google product, and what you're adding. It's like, don't just create one simple solution that solves one simple specific problem. Don't try to overcomplicate it, and you're pretty much set. And also, this slide comes back to what Matthias and the guys from Lab were going on about this collaboration. Basically, this slide is actually one of the AI models that was based on a paper back in 2018 from Harvard, where they developed an AI model that is meant to sniff out sort of lung cancer, which can look at these X-ray scans from a bunch of X-rays and say, hey, this person might have lung cancer. He should go check it out. And what basically ended up happening is someone shared like a photo or like a snippet of what the input and output is, and you had like someone on Twitter, which was actually like in the space of AI, like just working it on it as a hobby, but was a pulmonologist, identified correctly that the model was overfitted because it didn't correctly it did correctly identify cancer in like specific images, but then like different other images was so bad. And basically that's why collaboration is important. That's why you need to have like, I can't really remember, it's the 4 H's, like the hacker, the hustler, the marketing guy, the designer, and no, it's all that you need to do in the team. So don't be afraid to reach out to a lot of non-technical people that you see in like the Discord and also on this hackathon, and basically bring them into your team and ask them what their take is, because often than not they're they know a lot of things that you probably don't. It's each team member brings in a unique perspective and a skill set to the table, and collaboration can lead to more effective and efficient solutions. And the last lesson, while it's kind of overused at this point, but while AI is undoubtedly a powerful tool, and it's not without its limitations, and you must recognize where and how it can be most effective, but also be in mind in the fact that it may not be the best solution for every use case. You must consider the ethical implications of that technology and that solution you're building, and make sure it's used responsibly, and ensuring that it's designed, trained with care, and in order to avoid perpetuating bias and discrimination and, quite frankly, misinformation. Like, keep keep it simple, and don't be evil, basically, I would say. Last slide is all there is from me. I would gladly answer your questions, and also feel free to add me on LinkedIn, and also some useful material I left in the presentation, which is basically the gpt3demo.com website, where you can look up. It tracks almost like a bulk of apps developed using GPT-3, the whole OpenAI stack. And just so, and don't think this discourage you from building whatever your idea is. If you see like a use case on that website, don't be discouraged, because if you can 10x what the general idea, what the previous sort of was, then you're set. I was like a year ago in your place participating in this hackathon, and we actually built we actually went in building a solution that basically was also presented on one of the previous hackathons, but the previous sort of solution didn't end up being like the winner, not even in the top 3, and we end up like second, just because we actually like built something that was much better than the original one, and actually kind of worked and was technically feasible. So I'm glad to answer any of your questions you might have on which.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sinisha. That was such an inspiring talk, I would say, because guys are going to build during 7 days. And actually, it's pretty hard work, as all of you mentioned, because it's not easy to build with all of the technologies, and you need to be actually precise. And yeah, I just open up a chat and I see a question from one of our participants. Maybe you can answer that. What if then machines learn to hate humans? This is theoretical, but probably no, as we are, promoting AI for good. But actually, what do you think? What is the future?
Definitely, the when you're developing AI, it's basically it goes along the lessons of trash in, trash out, good things in, good things out. Basically, if you feed it like any AI is just a sort of a statistical representation of a statistical abstraction, I would say, on the data it has been fed, and basically, if you don't feed it bad data, it won't learn to hate.
That's true. So yeah, thank you so much again. Don't forget, guys, to follow Sanisha on LinkedIn. We will share for sure his profile and all the important links he shared with all of us. So stay
Also,
updated and follow the links.
also
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
feel free to add me on Discord for the participants if you need any help, or just send me a message. I'll be available almost the whole week. I'll jump in and out. So
Amazing to hear that. That's so nice. Yeah, happy to hear that. Because I will be also there during the whole week. So you can also ping me on Discord if you have any non-tech related questions, because I'm a bit non-technical person. But yeah, definitely. Thank you. Thank you so much again. It was nice having you here today with us. Looking forward to meet you in the future, probably. And yeah, have a great eve. And I think we are going to continue. Thanks. So it's important for all of you actually to follow our social medias, because there you will have a chance to actually stay updated. And as a lot of you guys asked in the chat, all these live sessions, all these live tutorials, all of materials which we're going to give you during the hackathon, it is going to be on all our social medias and also LabLab AI platform, where you can find all the important links. So for example, the platform guides through which Matthias and Pavel took you. You can find it on YouTube. With Olesya, for example, we prepared a video. So probably if you're for a longer time with LabLab, you know who is Nasty, who is Olesya. So yeah, you can find it all on our social medias, and no worries, you will not miss it all for sure, because we will share with you all the important information which you will need. And right now we are going to meet Redis a bit more. And yeah, so we have pre-recorded a session with Tyler actually about how to use Redis more, how you can find it. It's super important to mention right now that you can find all the tech pages and all the Redis regarding pages on our website. We will share it with you it all also on Discord. And yeah, you will for sure not miss anything, because you can find everything on our website. So let's meet Redis a bit more and actually see how to use this technology, and not only.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Tyler Hutcherson, and it is good to meet some of you guys virtually. I work with Redis, and we are excited to be partnering with LabLab AI for a series of hackathons and initiatives over the next 2 months, where we're going to get to work together to build the next generation of AI native and AI enabled applications. And so the purpose of this video is I'm actually going to show you guys kind of the starting point for getting involved with Redis and using Redis in your stack. So if you go to the LabLab AI tech page, and you scroll all the way to the bottom, you can see here's this little block that the team made for Redis. And so this page has a bunch of information about Redis. You can read all of the helpful things. You can click all the links to docs. But if you're like me, you kind of want to get right into it and start building. So I want to go down to where this boilerplate section is, and I'm really interested in question and answering. So I'm going to click on this Q&A example. And the reason I pulled this up is because this is a great example of how to use Redis to augment OpenAI enabled workflows. And so one example I'm going to talk about is question and answering. We're all pretty familiar probably with the concept of creating embeddings from text. And so OpenAI has a series of APIs that they've released, and many of you are quite familiar with these. So I'm not going to spend too much time kind of diving into that, but we're going to talk about semantic search and we're going to talk about question and answering. And so with semantic search, it's a pretty straightforward process where raw documents are converted using OpenAI's APIs. There's also other embedding and model providers out there like Cohere and Hugging Face, and many more to come. So these documents are embedded and then stored in Redis. And so Redis, again, some of you guys might be curious, why is Redis here? Redis has, innovated a lot over the last 10 years. And so we've been continually adding developer-focused capabilities. And with the wave and the turning tide of AI that's happening in our ecosystem right now, we realized that vector databases are going to be the future. And so we enabled vector database capabilities through our Redis search module as of version 2.4, which is generally available everywhere. And so with Redis as a vector database, all of these embeddings that you've created from raw documents using the OpenAI embeddings API can be stored in Redis. And they can be stored in Redis, which is an in-memory, blazing fast database, has a lot of flexibility in how you can use it. And it's also been around for a long time. Most companies and developers are quite familiar. And so the way this works then in a semantic search context is then you can query that database using vector representations of questions or queries to try to find similar or relevant documents that have been sort of pre-stored inside that database. You can think of the database as like the knowledge context. It holds information about a set of data. Maybe it's a bunch of Wikipedia articles. Maybe it's news articles you've scraped from some site. Maybe it's documentation you've pulled from your favorite open source library. And so now this is where question and answering comes in. It builds on top of semantic search by enabling users like yourself to ask a question. OpenAI will use its embeddings API to convert that text into a list of numbers that we call an embedding or a vector. And then you can perform vector-based search operations called VSS, vector similarity search, to find relevant documents. Then using those relevant documents, say you wanted to find the 5 most relevant documents in the database to your question, you pass the text and the content from those documents into a prompt construction function. So that prompt will take the documents that you found from your query, along with some sort of helper information so that the OpenAI generation model can know what to do with it. So we're going to construct a prompt that's going to say, answer the question based on this exact information you see below. And if you don't know what it is, then just say, I don't know. And so you pass that to the OpenAI API for generation. It will answer the question and return to the user. So we put together this application to show how that might work. It's a really simple containerized demo. And I'm going to actually set this up as if I was doing this for the first time. Of course, I helped build this, so I'm probably more familiar than most of you in setting this up, but I'm going to try to go from scratch so you can see how it works. I want to say one thing before we start, which is in order to do any of this, you need, of course, your OpenAI API key. So you can go to platform.openai.com, sign up, get a key. You get a bunch of free credits to start. They're a really wonderful company to work with. So first thing is we're going to clone the repository. So I'm going to do git clone .com/Redis ventures /Redis OpenAI Q&A. All right, so that's going to pull down the resources we need. I'm going to go into that folder. Just take a look around. You can see there's not that much here. It's pretty simple. There's Docker file, license file, README, an app, Docker Compose, a couple of basic things to get started. But I'm going to open this up in my favorite text editor, which is VS Code. And so from here, you can see there's your app folder that contains the actual Streamlit app that we're going to run, app.py. And then there's a folder of some images and things. You don't really need to worry about that. And then sort of our helper code. We're not going to go too much into the code here. My colleague Sam is probably going to do a live coding session. We might do a couple of them next week to kind of get you all in here, but I'm just getting you familiar with the repository structure. And so in here, we'll take this, and the first thing that the README is going to tell you to do is make a copy of the templated environment file. And that way, let's see, why is it not finding it? There we go. Okay. I don't know what that was about. So we're going to copy the template file. We're going to create a new environment file here. It's just an exact copy. The only difference is we're going to replace with your OpenAI API key, which of course I have mine saved off here to the side. You can try to steal this key if you want. I'm gonna turn it off here after this demo. But this is all you need to get started. Of course, you need Docker on your machine. You need Docker and Docker Compose, and you need your OpenAI API key. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Docker Compose up. And now, if you've never built these before, the Docker Compose is basically set up in a really easy way to manage containers. This is not necessarily meant to be a production level service, of course, like we have things like Kubernetes and other options like Slurm and things to run things in production, but this is perfect for prototyping. So here we've got a list of services. One is a Streamlit app. You can see here, we've got a Docker file that this is actually going to run. That's why the context is saying here, it's going to look for the Docker file in this exact directory. We're going to name that container Streamlit. And it's going to build it. It's going to use the environment file to create environment variables. And this is going to depend on our Redis service right here. So Redis, we're just going to run the Redis stack server, which is the latest version of that image. We're going to expose some ports. Again, map the same environment file. We're going to create a volume here. So that way, if you spin this down and spin it back up, you'll have some persistence. And then lastly, we've got a health check. This is optional, but it's probably good practice. So when you run Docker Compose, it takes the information you've put in this compose file, along with the Docker containers and all of the specifics you've outlined, and actually creates everything you need. A network layer creates containers that are going to run with these specific settings, and they can talk to each other. And so that's what we've done here. Inside your terminal, there are logs that show our Redis app. This is all the startup Redis log, and then our Streamlit app. These are the startup Streamlit logs. So if you've never run this before, the first time it's going to actually have to pull some documents down, and it's going to store them, embed them, and store them in Redis. So now you can navigate to localhost 8080, where the Streamlit app is running. And here we go. We've got Redis OpenAI Q&A application. And this data set isn't the most exciting, unfortunately, but it is about the 2020 Summer Olympics. So it's a bunch of Wikipedia articles that have been scraped and chunked up, and I think OpenAI actually hosts this data set, so there's a bunch of documentation online. So I can ask questions now. So I can say things like, who won the men's pole vault competition? And so this is going to follow the workflow that we identified below. So we ask the question, goes to OpenAI first, then goes to Redis, creates the prompt, and returns that information to OpenAI to get an answer. And you can see we actually get a response. And so this is useful because the difference between Q&A and just pure semantic search or document retrieval is that it's an additional layer on top. They both have their use cases. They both have places where they're super valuable in business context and in the real world. So for Q&A, users expect a little bit more specificity with the results. So the benefit here is that we're not allowing the language model to just make up some answer. Because if I ask this question to ChatGPT, well, ChatGPT might know the answer, but if I ask this question directly to, for example, the Da Vinci model, it's quite possible that it's just gonna come up with something random. And we don't want it to have these hallucinations. That's kind of what we call it. So this is useful in a lot of business cases where you actually can't have it make something up. You need it to be correct. And one way to do that is to enforce it to use a context that you create. And this is where a vector database comes into play. And you need this to be fast. So you can see these are the documents that were identified by the vector database as, hey, these might be relevant or interesting documents to use in trying to answer the question. And of course, the first one you can see is a document about the pole vault event at the 2020 Summer Olympics. So I hope this is a helpful starting place. Of course, different data sets, different combinations of APIs. There are all sorts of different community tools like LangChain and GPT Index to do more sophisticated chat-based apps or question and answering apps that are much more mature. So we're really looking forward to see what you all build using the power of OpenAI and other language models and Redis as a real-time vector database and ML feature storage engine. So you know where to find us. We're on the Discord. We're going to be in touch. Reach out to us. We're looking forward to this. Thanks, everyone.
So thanks again to Tyler and to Redis team actually for providing us with all the information you guys need during the hackathon. And yeah, make sure you check out the Redis channel on our LabLab Discord server. And yeah, stay updated with all the Redis news. You have 2 months actually to use Redis technology and implement it during your building. So later on, you will be not a participant of just this competition, but later on, you will have a chance to win some prizes by just Redis. And all this information regarding Redis, you can check on our website, and you go to our blog where we have actually blog post about our collaboration with Redis. You can go to the technology page connected to Redis, and there you can find all the important information, actually how you can get access and what is this technology actually about, and all the important links. So make sure you check our website. Everything else, everything actually, you can find directly there. So now we are going to have a ChatGPT tutorial for developers. And here you can find useful tips from our developer, Fabian. Yeah, and this is going to be a pre-recorded session, which you can find already on YouTube. So you can just, learn a bit more about ChatGPT with us right now. And after that, I will still have some tips for you to share. So stay tuned and let's go to ChatGPT tutorial for developers.
Hello and welcome everyone to this tutorial. Today we will have a look at ChatGPT and its coding capabilities. First, let's have a look at general programming question answering. So right here, I asked what is Python good for, and we got a really good answer to our question, and this really could save you a lot of time, because if you wanted to find out this by yourself, you would have to do a lot of Googling, visiting different sites, reading through a lot of stuff. So this is really a precise and compact answer to my question. So this is really good for just overall general programming questions. So right here, my next question was, what programming language should I learn if I want to create 3D games? What game engines are there? And this is pretty good. So it answers with C++ and C Sharp, which is a really good answer, and also Python. You can create games with Python, but yeah, it's less popular for game development compared to C++ and C Sharp. So that's a really good answer. And yeah, here it also listed probably the biggest game engines that are currently on the market. So yeah, it's really good for general, not too specific programming questions. Next, let's have a look at automation. So ChatGPT can really good create different kinds of Python scripts to automate all kinds of different tasks. So right here, this is actually a problem I was facing in my everyday work. So I had a lot of TXT files and I wanted to merge all TXT files from one directory into a single TXT file. So I just went to ChatGPT and asked it if it could generate a small script for me. So right here we have this combine TXT files function, and it shows us even how we could use this. And this is just super helpful if you want to automate stuff and yeah, work less. Then another example here is create a Python script that checks the current price of Bitcoin to US dollar. I actually told here with any API key, so it uses this Nomics API, which is, I guess, it's a crypto index, and it's using this API to get the current price of Bitcoin. Okay, so the next thing we will look at is creating websites. So ChatGPT can really create HTML, CSS, and JavaScript really good. So here I asked it to create a simple website about Labrador, so dogs, with a navigation, a hero, with an image, and an about section, and a contact form. So here it started generating the HTML with inline style. And right here, this is very interesting, the generation stopped, I guess because it's reached the output size limit. But then I just told it again to write the body of the website, because the body started here and it got cut off here. So it just continued to write out the code, and then I basically took the whole code and pasted it into a new replit. So this is basically the result of this generation right here. The image is not really a Labrador dog, but that's close enough. And I think overall this is a really good result for not doing any changes to the current generation. So we have our navbar, we have our hero with an image. These things are even clickable, so we have our small about section, and then this small contact us component, which looks really good. Next, let's talk about different kinds of generic code, for example, algorithms. Right here, I have a really simple sorting algorithm. It's called bubble sort. Probably most programmers are familiar with it. So first, I ask it to actually generate a bubble sort function. It did it without a problem, all looking good. But then I ask it to add documentation and inline comment about what is done on each line. And you can see right here that this has no comments whatsoever. And here we have really nice documentation with what the function does, parameters, and what the function returns. So this is really great. And we have our comments added about what is done on each line. So this is great if you have generic code and want to document this. And then I asked it to show me how this function can be used, and it gave me a really great example of an unsorted array. Then we sort our array with this function, and then we print out our sorted array. So this is really nice. Last but not least, let's talk about simplifying or rewriting code. So right here, I've pasted this FizzBuzz implementation that I found on the web. And this is a clever solution, but it's not really readable, so I pasted in the whole code, added this small spacer section right here, and then told it to simplify this clever FizzBuzz solution. And so it rewrote me the entire thing, just a little bit more readable for the average person. So now you know how you can use ChatGPT for your everyday programming tasks. I hope you learned something, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Yeah, as we mentioned, it was pre-recorded session with our developer Fabian, which you can find on our YouTube channel, and all the live streams you can also find there. So you will not miss anything out for sure. And super important to mention, if you need any additional help, feel free to reach out to LabLab.ai team. We will for sure help you there. If you use Redis, if you have questions about Redis, and not only, but mostly about Redis, you can tag mentors from Redis side. And also we have our mentors from LabLab.ai team and also from our community, actually people who participated in Hackathon. So if you have experience, knowledge, and you're eager to help other people actually to build this AI and use all technologies, you can also become LabLab.ai mentor. And important, if you need additional help, you can go to LabLab.ai Discord OpenAI Hackathon channel. There you can find help. You can go to I Need Help channel. Actually, in this channel, we'll put more attention to your problem and we will fix it together, or use Tech Mentor or Nasty, because she is our Discord princess, as we say, and she will for sure help you find a solution. And also you can do it via your profile on the LabLab.ai platform. Ask for help and mentors will reach you out. So guys, was amazing to have you here. We are more than 200 people still staying till the end. And in general, I want to thank you all for being with us, for starting this amazing journey together, and invite your friends, because, we have less than 20 people to have 7,000 people building with us together during this hackathon. So why not to make it such a big number, such a big event? It is already big, but we can make it even bigger because we have still some places and to join. So thank you so much for staying with us, for being with us. A lot of good luck, and see you later and see you soon during our upcoming streams this week. All the information you will find on Discord. So stay tuned and have a great evening. Enjoy your building. Bye bye.